Okay, so a few days ago, a Republican senator, and I forgot her name, but her name doesn't matter. She's proposing a bill called the Canada Act, which is going to investigate us not putting the liquor on the shelves. Basically, she's saying we're not being fair to the US liquor industry. If you haven't seen my video, I posted one up yesterday about this woman. I'll leave a link in the description below if you haven't seen it yet. But I find it hilarious that they think they can make a law in the United States that will affect us. It's like US citizens abroad trying to invoke their amendment rights. But it's not just the Republicans that are saying that we're being unfair. Democratic Senator Adam Schiff just tweeted this on X, and let me read it out. Canada's boycott of California wine is causing devastating harm to wine growers. I'm urging the Canadian government to recognize that California doesn't agree with these tariff wars, to lift these restrictions, and to increase consumer options to strengthen both of our economies. Well, Adam, you can go shove it. Just because you say California doesn't agree with these tariffs doesn't mean you're not part of the United States. And just because you're a blue state doesn't mean you're exempt. I mean, there's plenty of Taco Tuesday supporters in your state. And 6,081,697 people who voted for Taco Tuesday is too much for me. I had sympathy for the blue states in the beginning, but that quickly died. But when I hear blue senators and governors basically saying that Canada is hurting them, or Canada's being unfair, you lost all of my respect in a heartbeat. Now, if you're an international viewer and you don't know who the woman on the right is, she's the governor of Maine. That's Janet Mills, and I don't like her. Because last year she insinuated that we're not hurting Taco Tuesday, we're hurting our friends in the state of Maine. But I've done plenty of videos to prove that not everybody in Maine is a friend, and I'm not supporting anybody in that state, or anywhere in the states. So this governor and senator, both being blue, you both deserve a Shawinigan handshake. And to be honest, that's me being polite. If you watched my earlier video that I published like 3 hours ago, you would have known that I'd be coming out guns a-blazing on this one. Because Adam Schiff, you got a lot of nerve to say that. And you don't get to guilt trip us into thinking that we're the problem. Now these shelves right here are a big problem for them. Not for us, for them. But because these shelves are empty, it means it's going to be filled with other stuff. But after I'm done with Adam Schiff, I want to show everybody a chart. And this chart here shows what other countries are benefiting because we're not selling the US liquor. I'll reveal the chart at the end of the video, but I think you can tell which one is the US. Look at that big negative drop. It's beautiful. But before I get into Adam's stupid tweet, I want to show everybody a report that actually shows what's going on with the California wine industry. I think everyone's going to enjoy this one. Let's get started.
After almost a year and a half, there is a new push to return U.S. alcohol to shelves north of the border.
While American lawmakers ramp up pressure on Premier Ford to end the ban, local winemakers say Ontario consumers may have permanently changed their taste buds. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the story.
It's been 16 months since California wines and other American-made booze was boxed up at the LCBO. A hit back against tariffs.
How are you?
A game changer for Ontario winemakers. This vineyard in Jordan on the Niagara Escarpment has seen sales in the LCBO shoot up 600%.
Now, as a Canadian, this makes me really happy to hear this. Because I think we're finally realizing that we don't have to, consume the US crap. And to be honest, we got so many different options, whether it's within Canada or internationally. I had some idiot actually email me a while ago, about the liquor being off the shelves. And obviously, this guy was from south of the border. He was basically saying, good luck with your empty shelves and not having any liquor in Canada. I'm like, how dumb can you be? I mean, do these photos here, does it look like our shelves are empty because we don't have US liquor? Do you think we only drink your bourbon and Jack Daniels and Jim Beam? And that flavored water that you call beer? You see, Canadians have always had a choice. And we're not running out of alcohol on our shelves like this person said. And with 16 months gone by without your crap on our shelves, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit tough to get people to buy US alcohol again once it is back on the shelves. So yeah, we're actively looking for other Canadian alternatives or even international. Except for this one. Leave it on the shelves. We don't want to support this guy.
Every dollar that's been spent on an Ontario wine and on a Westcott wine has gone right back into the province of Ontario.
The spike in demand so steep, Westcott's planning an expansion and has planted more vines.
We are leaning into this and expect our business to continue to grow, whether those products come back or not.
Now, I'm going to do my part as a Canadian and give this vineyard a little bit of a plug. Their website is westcottvineyards.com, and they're based out of the Niagara region and run by Grant Westcott as well as Caroline Hurst. And it does look like they have a nice patio and area for people to visit. Now, I'm not really a wine drinker, so I'm kind of like a fish out of water right now trying to describe this. But if I were to drink wine, it would be a Chardonnay, and it looks like they have a great selection as well. So if you're interested in purchasing anything from Westcott Vineyards, or even stopping by, their website will be in the description below. I've never spoken to the founders or anything. I mean, this is literally the first time I'm hearing about them. But I just thought it would make it easier for everyone to go to their website. But if you do end up buying from them or visiting them or speaking to them, just let them know that you found them through Guard the Leaf.
There's new pressure from American lawmakers this week to return U.S. alcohol to Canadian shelves. From New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, accusing Canada of unfair trade practices. And California Senator Adam Schiff, he says the bans are creating devastating harm.
Don't worry, I'm going to get to Adam Schiff soon, and I'm probably going to, I might actually turn into Josh. Maybe not as many F-bombs, but it'll be enough for me.
In a World Series wager last fall, California's governor appealed right to the premier.
I think you can put it on the liquor store shelves.
I don't think so, buddy. Talk to your friend in the Oval Office.
An advocacy group for California wineries says U.S. exports to Canada have plummeted, down 78%. A former trade advisor to Prime Minister Harper says unwinding the ban is tricky.
I think it's unfortunate that provincial premiers are taking action that impacts our entire country on behalf of their provinces, and it's my view that they're overstepping their jurisdiction.
I had to replay this part probably about 3 or 4 times, because I honestly couldn't tell which side of the border she's from. But unfortunately, it looks like she's from north of the border, and she's a professor at the Carleton University. I don't think the premiers are overstepping their boundaries. In fact, I think they're actually protecting the boundary, except for Alberta and Saskatchewan. But she claims that it's affecting our country. But I see it as a defensive measure. And in fact, it's actually working, because we know it's pissing off the people in the South. Let me know your thoughts below on Meredith's comments.
Doug Ford has been unwilling to budge.
I just want to get this deal done, and then we'll put that booze back on the shelves.
At Westcott, Hearst doesn't see wine drinkers rushing to uncork at California Red.
The relationship between Canada and the U.S. has changed, and I just don't think that we're going back to business as usual.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Now, for anyone watching my video right now, I know things are not going to go back to normal, well, quote-unquote normal, once the liquor is back on the shelves. But this idiot here sure hopes it does. And this idiot is Adam Schiff. I know I read out the tweet earlier, but let me read it out again. Canada's boycott of California wine is causing devastating harm to wine growers. I'm urging the Canadian government to recognize that California doesn't agree with the tariff wars, to lift these restrictions, and increase consumer options to strengthen both of our economies. Alright, where do I start with this? I already said what I needed to say when it comes to California not agreeing with the tariff wars. I mean, you can't separate yourself from Washington, D.C. You are part of the United States, and you pledge your allegiance to the flag just like everyone else. But I have to ask you, Mr. Schiff, what makes you so special that you and California, only California, should get an exemption? Because what you're sounding like right now is like this guy, and I hate this guy, because he thinks his industry should be exempt, and that we should forget everything that's going on and continue to buy your US liquor. So I have a question for you, Mr. Schiff. Why the fuck should we lift these restrictions when your country has been tariffing Canada and the rest of the world? Does that not matter to you? Or is the only thing that matters to you is the wineries in your state? I also have to ask you, Mr. Schiff, do you know what your country is doing to our job industry in Canada? Do you know how many Canadian small businesses have had to close because your stupid president removed the de minimis tax exemptions? Or are you aware that your president is threatening to collapse our auto industry? I keep saying your president because he is your president, Mr. Schiff, no matter if you did or didn't vote for him. This is a problem that your country needs to fix. And your government, I mean, you're in the Democratic Party for fuck's sakes. Do something. Because pointing the finger at Canada is just making you look like a fucking idiot. Any ounce of respect that Canadians might have had for you is out the window with this tweet right now. And let me remind you, Mr. Schiff, last year you created this video as a message to Canada, saying that we are your friends and you appreciate us, and that you understand what your government is doing to us. Now you pull this shit, basically saying that we're hurting your wine industry? Yeah, fuck off with that bullshit, seriously. And for the record, in your message to Canada, you said that we fought alongside you in the wars. For the record, you guys are the ones that showed up late for World War I and II, so you stood beside us. Just like what one of my viewers said in my video about you. Canada stood by US in World War I and World War II. The USA was a couple years late for both those wars. So your message to Canada that you created last year, it was hollow to me back then, but it means shit all to me right now. I know I'm only one Canadian, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have at least a couple of my viewers agree with me. So Adam, your tweet to Canada? I can safely tell you to go fuck off with your demands. Now, this clown didn't just write a tweet. He actually wrote a letter to Quebec. And the letter is just basically pleading for us to put the liquor back on the shelves. Now, I don't have time to read out the whole article. I mean, I went off a little bit too much on this Schiff rant. But I'm going to show some paragraphs. But as always, if you want to read the full article, the link will be in the description below. This first screenshot I want to show. Reopening the market to American wine would restore consumer choice and signal a commitment to restoring fair and balanced trade for Quebecois consumers and American wineries who have no connection to the underlying trade disputes, the federal lawmakers wrote. Schiff added that in his letter, he hoped to visit Frechette and other Canadian leaders about this and other issues in October. You know what I find funny? That first paragraph that I just wrote out to you. If I didn't tell you it was from Adam Schiff, it would have definitely sounded like it came from Claudia Tanny, the woman who's trying to create the Canada Act. And what it tells me is that no matter if they're blue or red, they're about the same. But I do find it funny that he said it would restore consumer choice. Maybe Adam Schiff should take a poll from Canadians and see if they want that choice. And even if it is on the shelves, Adam, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not going to get the sales that you were before. Because you can't force Canadian citizens to buy your shitty alcohol. We'll just leave it on the shelves. Then what's going to happen when nobody's buying your alcohol and it is on the shelves? What are you going to blame it on? My guess is that you and your government will blame it on our government, saying that too much time has gone by and the Canadians don't want it anymore. Some bullshit like that. Because you guys are great at blaming your own problems on anyone else but yourself. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit spicy today, but you know what? I think this topic, as well as the previous topic of the Gordie Howe Bridge, it just really pissed me off this morning. I mean, even the co-host doesn't want to be in the room with me right now. Anyways, let me get back to the screenshot. The letters come at a time when the wine industry is being hit from all sides, facing declines in exports and imports, pest threats, and historic low consumptions. The wine and grape industries are a billion-dollar enterprise in California. The state produces about 80% of all wine in the US, according to the US industry groups. Aw, that's so sad. Canada was America's top wine export market, representing about 36% and $460 million worth of all US wine exports in 2024, according to Sacramento-based Wine Institute. In 2025, Wine Institute data shows that the export to Canada fell to 12%, a $357 million loss in export value. Restoring access is critically important for wineries, growers, and many other businesses connected to the wine sector on both sides of the border, a Wine Institute statement said. Natalie Collins, president of the California Association of Wine Grape Growers, referred to what's happening to the wine industry as death by 1,000 cuts, saying the Canada piece is definitely one of them. Well, Natalie, in response to your death by 1,000 cuts, the world is getting death by 1,000 tariffs, so fuck off with your pity story. We have spent decades building relationships to Canada with family grape growers and winemakers, and seeing everything fall apart over no fault of our industry has been devastating, Collins said. I don't know if your industry is 100% not at fault. I mean, if you ask anyone in your industry if they voted for Taco Tuesday, then you are at fault. I'm just saying. Dirk Hoovel has helped run McManus Family Vineyards in Ripon in San Juan County since 2008. Canadian exports, largely to Ontario, made up approximately 40% of his family's export sales, about 75,000 cases, leading up to the country's restriction on the U.S. alcohol. From July 2025 to now, the number fell approximately 5% to export sales, or about 1,000 cases. Ouch. On top of the export hits, the family-owned vineyard has seen a significant drop in its bulk wine sales to larger U.S. wine brands, Hoovel said. The vineyard's primary business is growing and crushing grapes to produce bulk wines for these buyers, some of which are also managing the Canadian market loss. Now, reading this out, it does sound like a victim story or a sad story. But I did look up the voting demographic for Ripon, California, or is it Ripon? Whatever it is. If you ask me, that map is pretty damn red, and when it's red, it says more conservative. Now, if this Dirk guy didn't vote for Taco Tuesday, then he should be mad at everyone that's in his area that did vote for Taco Tuesday and made this map red. It's not the fault of Canada. Look at your own fellow citizens. Last screenshot. Hoovel is grateful for the support from Congress, but he called the letter overdue. Like the letter's gonna fucking do anything. He is not optimistic the alcohol restrictions will be lifted in time to support growers for the 2026 season, based off the current mood of the US-Canadian trade negotiations. While his vineyard has enough bulk wine business to keep it running without Canada, Hoovel, who is also the board member of the California Association of Wine Grape Growers, said other vintners will not be as fortunate. I think there are a lot of wineries that if the Canadian market doesn't open back up, they flat out will not survive this, Hoovel said. I have the perfect meme that's going to describe what I'm feeling right now.
Fine by me!
Yep, that's how I feel right now. Because saying that your industry is completely innocent is bullshit. Any vineyard owner, or worker, or somebody in the industry that voted for Taco Tuesday is as guilty as anyone else who voted for him, and they're the reason why we're in this mess. I mean, it's the same with every industry suffering right now, like the food and beverage, the border towns, the soybean farmers, corn farmers. They all say they're innocent bystanders. I would love to find a screenshot of the soybean farmer who basically said that he's been like a victim of the whole thing and he had a Taco Tuesday flag on his tractor. But I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of my reports where I'm critiquing the people complaining to Canada, like mainly the farmers and like the liquor industry, they've been in red states. But this one is in California, and I feel a little bit weird about that. And it's mainly because of my history and connection with California. And maybe that's why I'm so pissed off in this video. Because their Democratic senator just proved that he's no different than this Republican senator. Both sides are blaming Canada and demanding that we put the alcohol back on the shelves, when the problem is not with our country, it's with your president. So Mr. Schiff, with your stupid tweet, I'm pretty sure you pissed off a lot of Canadians, and it doesn't look good for you. And my only advice is maybe like do your job. So to add salt and vinegar to their wounds, I want to show this chart, and it's Canadian wine imports for 2024 and 25. And I want to show what countries are benefiting because the United States went on a meth binge. Number 1, France with a 12.7% increase, Italy 6.6, Spain 10.2, Australia 18.4, New Zealand 16.6, Chile 24.1, Portugal 6.1, Argentina 19.9, South Africa 3.7, Germany 0.6, Austria 0.4, Greece minus 7.7, Republic of Moldova minus 26, Hungary 10.4, Luxembourg 13.2, Israel 32%. I didn't know about that one. Lebanon minus 2.2, Georgia 28.2, Romania 41.2, and others 9.3. And the biggest loser with the biggest downward percentage is the United States with minus 76.8%. So yeah, United States, this is what you guys have done. It's not anything that we have, it's your president. And everybody that voted for him, all 77 million, and those who couldn't be bothered to vote. So you go ahead and continue writing your letters, but it's not going to change the mind of Canadians. Now today's backdrop is actually a really special one, and I 100% know that we don't have a pin on this one. This photo is from Terry, and he posted it on the Guard the Leaf Hay Cafe page. And this one is from Alert Nunavut, and I'm going to try my best to say the region. Taluk region. I'm not going to try it again. But this is as far north in Canada as you can get. And I'm going to show you on this map right here. Alright, so we got the map of Canada and like the dysfunctional neighbor below. It's way up here. And if I were to zoom in on it, hang on. Like, I think the last pin I have is the highest it's gone is around this area here. But if we keep going, and don't worry, flat earthers, we're not going to fall off. Alert is up here, like far north. And I 100% know that. I don't think there's anything else up here. But I want to thank Terry for sending this. And Alert, the sign must be somewhere around here. I mean, I'm a bit of a map geek if you don't know. And I'm trying to figure out where he took this sign or took this photo. I don't know if it's like here or maybe by the air landing strip. I don't know. But regardless of it, this is way up there. I mean, most of us are down here. And this is as far north as I think you can go. So Terry, I really do want to thank you for sharing this. And this is, you definitely have the record for the most northern part of Canada that will be pinned on our map. So thank you again for sharing it. Alright everyone, that's all I got for this video, and I do apologize, it is a bit of a longer one, but I did have a lot to say about Adam's shift. And if you're still here, I do appreciate you watching to the end, because it really does help the algorithm. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now, if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.